Which leads me to the question, what if the problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2 wasn't EA? What if it was Disney? Every once in a while, I'll get the opportunity to jump back into a game that I haven't played in a while. And this week, I loaded up Star Wars Battlefront 2. And while I'm playing it, I'm struck with two things. Number one, that game came out 2 years ago, and the graphics are astonishing. Like, you could release that game today and the graphics would still hold up to today's standards. But the second thing was, I immediately remembered like all of the drama that this game went through. Like, it felt like no matter what this game did, it could not catch a break. Which is kind of a bummer, because DICE really tried to make a game that gamers and Star Wars fans alike would enjoy. And it had a lot going for it. You know, no paid DLC, no season passes, a roadmap of free updates with new heroes and maps, but unfortunately, out of the gate, this game's microtransactions and progression system really turned off a lot of gamers from playing the game. And so I'm going through all the drama in my head, and I was reminded of EA's Blake Jorgensen's comment when he was trying to justify EA's decisions of using pay-to-win mechanics versus like cosmetic options to fund the game. And he said it was out of respect of canon, and nobody wanted to play as a pink Darth Vader anyway. And I've got to admit, like, when I first heard that comment, it got a good laugh out of me. And I was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to play as a pink Darth Vader. But now that the dust has settled, 2 years later, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, Blake has a really good point. Canon. Now stay with me here. Disney owns the rights to all things Star Wars. And even though EA holds the license for Star Wars video games, Disney still holds the veto power for anything going on with their properties. Which leads me to the question, what if the problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2 wasn't EA? What if it was Disney? Disney is super notorious for being very hands-on when it comes to their properties, with the goal of maintaining consistencies across all of their brands. I mean, in the world of Disney, brand is everything, even in a galaxy far, far away. With Kingdom Hearts 3, the game's art director, Toru Yamazaki, confirmed that any recreation of a Disney asset or any change to a character's design had to be approved by Disney. In fact, the design team would field requests from both Pixar and Disney, requesting things like less teeth showing during smiles, or more flow to Elsa's hair, or even things as small as like changes to the character's eyelids. Now take that and apply it to Star Wars Battlefront 2. If Disney had applied the same attention to detail as they did with Kingdom Hearts 3, it's no wonder we didn't get a pink Darth Vader, Matt the Technician, Ben Swolo, or even in my case, Jar Jar Binks. Because in the eyes of Disney, it's not canon. If Disney was that hands-on with Kingdom Hearts, then when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 2, Disney had to be aware of the game's plans for microtransactions and star cards. In fact, when the internet suspected that Disney would pull the license from EA following the just massive cluster of this game, Disney CEO Bob Iger told investors on an investors call, "We've had good relationships with some of those we're licensing to, notably EA and the relationships on the Star Wars properties. And we're probably going to stay on that side of our business and put our capital elsewhere." And honestly, when I first heard that, I was confused. I was like, are you playing the same Star Wars game that I'm playing? But then I thought about it, and it honestly makes sense. The reason Disney is happy with EA is EA did exactly what Disney wanted them to do. They stayed true to canon. But because EA already promised a game with 0 DLC, 0 season passes, for Star Wars Battlefront 2 to stay alive, it would have to generate some form of revenue. So in order to finance the long-term development of this game, EA chose microtransactions. And with cosmetic options like color variants or different characters from around the Star Wars universe being off the table, EA had no choice but to choose a pay-to-win strategy to fund this game. And I think it's very important for me to say that I'm not justifying EA's choices of pay-to-win. But if Disney was aware of EA's choices and prevented them from monetizing the game through cosmetics, only to stand aside as EA suffered a massive backlash, Well then, my friends, Disney has officially joined the dark side. I mean, the sad reality is, if EA and Disney agreed to microtransactions through cosmetic options, many gamers, including myself, would have flocked to that option. Even if the game maintained the same character design strategy that it did in Star Wars Battlefront 1 and allowed gamers to customize their character's look through microtransactions, I mean, personally, I would have dropped a bunch of money perfecting my character. I mean, since the launch of the game, I have begged EA for Gungan skins. I would have easily dropped anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks just for the ability to teabag other players as a Gungan. Me some nuts in your mouth, Annie. But of course, in this situation, the dice have already been cast and the Empire only grows stronger. We can only hope that for the next Star Wars game, both EA and Disney fully understand what gamers really want. God Gungan skins.